it started, it was fall break. She was off school for the weekend and I wanted to come down, and I kind of casually brought up the idea that, hey, do you want to go on a trip? Let's go either, to the mountains, go on a hike, go to the beach.
This is like a month and a half before.
Yeah, and the whole time in the back of my mind, knowing that she would say the beach, because Charleston is her favorite place in the world, and we wanted to go there. We always want to go there, so any excuse to go there just is just something that we do. So I said, okay, yeah, let's take a weekend trip, kind of like a long Saturday, and go to the beach. And in the back of my mind, I already had the ring, and she had no idea. So we started driving, and we kind of started shopping, very casual, get a light lunch, and we went from, what was it? What was that area in the middle where we were shopping? The like the flea market.
Like the market,
area,
Charleston. They have like a downtown market. It's like it goes through like it's like market after market after market, just backed up right in the center of the city.
And was that the second time we'd been there, or with your family?
Yeah,
before?
that was the second time. We've been there once with my family. Actually, the previous fall break the year before.
And the year before that, I'd gone down there, kind of just in the back of my mind, keeping ideas of, okay, this would be a nice place to perhaps take her to before, and then maybe walking on the beach afterwards. So after we had gone to get some lunch, and then we started walking through these shops, I said, okay, well, let's go lay down by the beach for a little bit and go, maybe watch the waves come in. Of course, it was October, so it was a little bit cooler, and the wind was so bad that day.
Sand. I found sand in my hair for like days after. It was so windy.
So after about 20 minutes, she was ready to get out of there because the sand was just blowing up. Whether you laid down or whether you were sitting up, just sand got everywhere. But I was trying to kind of delay until the sun started to set. Well, I wanted to, I guess, propose around 5 or 6 o'clock, but she only made it till about 4 just because the sand was so bad. And so I was trying to stall by saying, hey, let's start going for a walk, or let's walk down the beach a little bit.
I was hungry.
Yeah, just kept saying, come on, let's go, let's get some food. We've been here all day. And so I'm thinking of ways, how can I speed this up, but at the same time, make it somewhat romantic, what's left of it, So we start walking, just talking about life and things, and I'm a little nervous, but kind of goofing off too, and acting like I'm gonna pick her up and throw her in the water. And about 5 minutes down the beach, I see something on the ground. I'm like, Maria, what's that? And I get down on one knee, and I pick up the seashell.
I turned around. My heart, like I just remember like freezing, and then he turns around and does.
I said, Maria, and I paused for a second, hold this shiny object up.
But I couldn't see because of the sun, so I just saw something in his hand. I had no idea what it was.
So I say, will you hold my shell for me? And her eyes got so big, bigger than I have ever seen in my life. And she's like, that is not funny. That is not funny.
I was so mad. I was laughing, but I was like, not a funny joke.
But she knew that it was not funny at all. So then she starts walking away from me the other direction. So I run up to her, grab her real quick, and kind of cool her down because I thought it might have been a funny little gag. She didn't think it was that funny. So then I convinced her to keep walking a little bit further down the beach. And at that point, I find another shell. Kind of do something similar, which is even less funny.
It was a conch shell, wasn't it?
Yeah, I find a conch shell or something on the beach and say, will you hold my conch shell for me? And again, same reaction, this time even less funny, storming away from me. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I really need to start speeding this up and get to the point. I don't know what you're thinking the whole time.
And what I told him, I was like, it just really means a lot to, like this, I've wanted to marry. I called my mom the day after we started dating, 2.5 years before this. I was like, I'm gonna marry him. And so here I am thinking, I've waited so long, and he's gonna laugh and make a joke about it. When never before has he ever asked me, or he would play with, like, when I had my purity ring, play with it, but he would never put it back on, like, because he wanted to save that, and that always meant a lot.
I wanted to wait and save that question for when I was actually going to do it.
Yeah.
But this all just kind of hit me. I'm going spur of the moment, what can I do? So then we finally get to kind of the end of our walk, and this is when I'm actually planning on asking the question. I pick up a stick, and I start writing something in the sand. I draw a big heart and write M&M for Matt and Maria.
And he writes out like will and then the Y of like you.
Right, I start to write out, will you marry me? But at that point,
I kicked the sand. I was like,
playing.
no.
She kicks through the sand, walking away. But that was when I was actually gonna get down on one knee and ask the question. So I don't know what you were thinking, but we started turning around and I was like, Maria, wait up for me. I think I finally said, when I actually do ask you the question, you're gonna be completely surprised, right? and then she still kind of has her back away to me, but I grab her arm and she turns around, and then I'm on one knee, fumbling through my pocket, trying to get that ring out.
And I think he was getting back down to mess with me, because before this he was like he had brought his backpack on the beach, and I didn't think anything of it because he brings his backpack random places when we go somewhere. And he was like taking out like my shoes, like we didn't have our shoes on, like putting them in the backpack. I was like, I can carry this, like it's not a big deal. And
I didn't want her anywhere near that backpack.
And yeah, so I was like because I was holding on to his arm, I was on his other side, and he's taking things and putting, and all of a sudden I feel him like drop back, and I think he has turned around to mess with me again. I was like, okay, the third or fourth time is not really that funny to me anymore. So I turn around and he's like on his knee, and he asked me 3 times. Don't even remember the first 2 times he asked me. I was so like my eyes filled up with tears, and I couldn't even believe it.
When I asked the question just 3 times, she finally did say yes. We got up, she was crying, and we hugged and kissed, and she called her mom.
And when we called his mom, we called him, it was like because my mom, you had asked my parents for permission the day before.
Yeah.
And then we called.
Midnight the night before.
Yeah. We called his mom, and he had told his younger brother, and he's like, Mom, she said yes. And she's like, said yes to what? She said yes. Said yes to what? She said yes. Like, it was just funny, and they both.
I kept it a surprise to everyone.
Yeah. So, and my mom knew that you were gonna propose, right? The next day.
She knew. Yep.
But my dad didn't know, and he had asked him for permission, and we were driving down to Charleston that morning. He called and he said, Matt's a real great guy. Just want you to know I gave him my blessing last night. And I'm not thinking, it didn't even cross my mind, because my dad said stuff like that before, like he's a great guy, he's always had my blessing. I was like, oh, okay,
I was just thinking, cover blown. She already knows.
He handled it real well. I had no idea.
We tried to play it off saying, oh, that's weird. I wonder why he said that.
Just likes you.
But she said yes, and she has the ring now.
Yeah.
That's our story.